Hey, Ontario.
We all know how incredibly frustrating it is to be locked out of sites and apps you might rely on for work or pleasure. TikTok, The Hub, and many other services are being restricted or outright banned in parts of the world. But don't fret, for there is a shining light in the darkness, the VPN. Say a website is blocking users in your country. By connecting to a VPN in a different country, that website will think you're there, and boom, no more block. And today, we're gonna show you a few ways to do just that. Level 1, where all you need is a credit card. Level 2, where you get to set up your own VPN, and don't worry, it's easy. And then there's my favorite, Level 3, where I tell you about our sponsor.
Nexigo. Their new Aurora Pro Mark II projector sports an improved 4,000 to 1 contrast ratio and support for all major HDR formats. Learn more by clicking our link in the video description.
Ben?
Before you decide how you're gonna tackle a VPN, it's important to understand why you need one in the first place, and I figure there's 4 main use cases. First, getting around throttling, blocking, or bans, like your school or government blocking websites, accessing region-locked content, like a different country's Netflix library, obscuring your IP address for privacy or torrenting, legal stuff like Linux ISOs, of course, and securely accessing a remote network, like your home or business, from somewhere else. If you fall into any of the first 3 categories, especially torrenting, and you want the easiest solution, there's Level 1. Using one of the many public VPN providers. Our personal favorite is private internet access, and all you've got to do to get these going is sign up, download their client, and hit connect. Whoa. There's nothing wrong with taking the easy route, but it doesn't mean you're not in control of your data, and even a VPN provider who's trustworthy today could change their behavior in the future. For instance, if they got bought out by a different company. So let's talk Level 2, where you get to host your very own private VPN server. While there are just about a million different ways to skin this cat, the setup I'm gonna show you today isn't scary, requires virtually 0 maintenance, and puts you in control. And you might even learn something along the way, like this disclaimer.
Anything we show you today is purely in the interest of education and privacy. We aren't condoning or recommending piracy, bypassing legislative bans, or anything similar. The legal implications of your actions are your own responsibility.
Thanks, Riley. If you're following along at home, you're gonna wanna check out the GitHub repo we have linked down in the description, because that's where you're gonna find all the necessary files, along with some step-by-step instructions in case you get lost. Public VPNs work by tunneling your internet traffic through a dedicated computer in a data center, and replace your IP address along the way. That's the part that hides your location. And we're gonna do basically the same thing by renting a small piece of a computer from a cloud hosting provider. They have data centers all over the world with thousands of servers that are split up into what they call VPSs, or virtual private servers, with the magic of virtualization. If you've seen us talk about virtual machines before, it's the exact same thing. If you're comfortable using a Linux command line, you should be able to replicate our setup with virtually any cloud provider. But if you're not, and for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna be using Vultr. They're not a sponsor, but we had great results with their high frequency tier, so start by signing up there and we'll come back to it in a sec. If we're being honest, traditionally, setting up a VPN, it's complicated and it requires maintenance to keep things secure and reliable. So instead of walking you through how to do all of that and keep it maintained, we distilled the entire setup down into a single config file. Literally this. These 100-ish lines contain all the information our server needs to set up the VPN, create a firewall to keep it secure, and handle automatic updates for both the operating system and the VPN software, which is called Tailscale. It has a ton of cool features, but most importantly for us, it makes the setup much easier, and it allows us to use existing accounts like Google or GitHub to log in. And their free plan is good for 3 users or 100 clients, so we're good there. Once you're logged into Tailscale, head to the keys section of the settings and generate an auth key, which is basically a fancy password our VPN server is going to use to log in. That auth key has to make its way into the config file I showed you earlier, but that can be tricky and kind of easy to screw up. So we made a custom tool, which will be linked in the GitHub, that you can paste your key into, and then it'll spit out a config ready to go. For the nerds out there who want to be able to remote into the machine, you'll probably want to add an SSH key, but if you don't know what that means, just skip this step. So we've got our VPN software, and we've got a config file. Now we need to get them on Vultr. And that's where Flatcar, a lightweight operating system built for high security and more importantly, low maintenance, comes into play. You see, it's a little train car with containers on it. The container, that's our VPN. Anyways, back on Vultr, click Deploy New Server and select the region you want to use. If you're not trying to get around region restrictions, you can pick whatever region is closest to you. If you are, pick whatever region is closest to you in an area that doesn't have those restrictions. Now, there are a lot of plans to choose from, but we found these shared CPU high frequency ones to be the best bang for your buck. Specifically the $6 a month base plan, which includes a terabyte of bandwidth per month and can handle gigabit speeds without issue. You might be able to make it work with cheaper tiers, so let us know down in the description how that goes. Disable automatic backup since we won't be storing any data on the machine. Select the stable version of Flatcar Container Linux, and then select Cloud Init user data. And that's where you're going to be pasting the configuration we generated earlier. Hit deploy, and while we're waiting for the VPN server to show up in Tailscale's dashboard, it's a great time to download Tailscale on whatever device you want to use your VPN with. So go to their website, hit download, install, and then once it's installed, log in. If you're on macOS, you have to agree to a few system prompts, but once that's done, it should just connect. Once you're logged in, you should see your client in the Tailscale dashboard, and hopefully by now, also your VPN server, which we have to make a few changes to. First, you want to go into Edit Route Settings and then select Use as Exit Node. This is going to allow us to tunnel our client's traffic to the VPN server, and then you want to disable key expiry. And you might also want to do this for your client as well. If you don't do this, after 180 days, the VPN server will stop being able to connect to Tailscale and just stop working as a VPN. Assuming you've done everything correctly, you should have yourself a functioning, self-updating VPN server. And I'm sure you did great, but now's a good time to check our work. So open up Command Prompt or Terminal if you're on macOS like me, and run ping VPN server. If everything's working, you should see responses with the latency listed. And if it's not, well, go back a few steps and make sure you've followed everything correctly. Assuming this is working, you're then going to want to run Tailscale status, which if you're on macOS is a little bit more complicated. I'll just copy paste that, boom, status. And you should see direct in the response. That means you're making a direct connection to the VPN server. If you see relay here instead, you might have a funky or restrictive firewall that's blocking the connection, and you can try asking for help on the LTT forum or Discord server. If all looks good, like this WAN deskpad from lttstore.com, you can go ahead and finally try it out. So go to Tailscale in your taskbar, select Exit Nodes, and then click on VPN server. At this point, we're now tunneling our own traffic through our very own VPN server, assuming we still have internet. Let me try pinging. Ping. Hey, it's still working. Sick. Thanks. We just have to try it out. Let's go. What is my IP address? That's kind of the easiest way to figure it out. Hey, I see an IP address that's different than the network that I'm actually on, and you can see our ISP shows as Vultr Holdings. Great job. Now you should only have to select the exit node once per device. It should remember the settings, but if you're ever unsure, it does actually change the icon in the taskbar, or you can use a website like I just showed you to check your external IP address. Now this setup can work great if your goal is to better protect your privacy or to get around throttling or region blocks, and at this point you can go ahead and test it out. But if you're trying to get around a potential TikTok ban or maybe another app, for instance, you might still be locked out since some of these services use other things to determine your location, like the App Store region you downloaded from, sometimes GPS location, or maybe even your account billing information. If that's the case, you can try changing your App Store region and re-downloading, for instance, but if you can't get that to work, the web version in a web page on your computer or your phone should still work. Now, if you're trying to use another country's Netflix library, they, like most streaming services, aggressively block hosting, VPN, and data center related IP addresses, so this setup probably won't work. Your best bet is one of the more streaming-oriented public VPN providers, or if you happen to have a friend in the country of choice, hosting a VPN at their house could also be a workable solution. What's less workable is torrenting. I mentioned earlier that torrenting is a great use case for public VPNs. That's because whether you're trying to avoid DMCA notices or circumvent ISP throttling, practically all big cloud providers will forward abuse reports from your totally legal torrents directly to you. And depending on their terms of service, they might even suspend your server. There are hosting companies that operate in countries that don't abide by the DMCA and therefore don't care. So if you're looking for that, Google is your friend, but you may have to get a little bit more manual on the setup. Now, if you fall into the last camp of wanting to remotely access your home or business network without having to port forward, like to check security cameras or stream video games, or hell, run a Minecraft server, you can easily do that with Tailscale, no VPS required, and therefore for free. Just install the Tailscale client directly on the device you want to access, like say, your Minecraft server, and then on your remote device, and log them into the same account. You can even run it in subnet routing mode and share services on other devices or even your entire network. Just keep in mind that by default, Tailscale doesn't block any connections within the little Tailscale network. So if you do explore it, we recommend locking things down with their access control rules, especially if you're inviting your friends. Put that all together, and assuming you didn't take the easy route, in just a few minutes, you've got your very own low maintenance, automatically updating VPN server that's easily capable of reaching full gigabit speeds where you're in control of your own data. And if you don't want it anymore, just get rid of it. Delete. Boom. Now all you're left with is our sponsor.
Nexigo. Their new Aurora Pro Mark II 4K ultra short throw projector takes the original Aurora Pro and amps it up with a bunch of improvements. It now has a better 4,000:1 native contrast ratio with an absolutely wild over 30,000:1 dynamic contrast ratio. That, combined with a peak brightness of 2400 lumens, delta E of around 1, and support for all major HDR formats, means crystal clear images in just about any environment. It's also got a 0.21:1 throw ratio and 4 built-in 15-watt speakers, meaning it's quite the space saver as well. And for you gamers out there, we're looking at 4.2 to 8 milliseconds of latency, and hey, Wi-Fi 6 compatibility. Who can say no to that? So pick one up by checking our link in the description and check out their bundles for more savings.
So thanks for watching. If you like this video, why not check out our last server room update?
Yo, Chief. Going well, man. Going well. Just got home not too long ago from work. Day of work. How's your day going? Hello, Gonzalez. Yo, getting Yukon done? Yo, Chief. Start up a co-op game. Send me the code. I'll join you if you want. What's up, Gonzalez? Been a long time. Yeah, it's nice to see you. How are things? What's new?
I was so broken that day. Nobody wants to borrow money when they can't even pay the bills they've already got. Nobody
Just put
wants
some
to
new
be in that
turbos on my two
desperate
trucks
place.
today.
What was
Jeez.
gaming like during the 90s? The 90s was
That's
dominated
fun.
by an antique culture of
I mean,
bad
that
haircuts,
sucks if they're,
hand-me-downs,
like,
Capri
leaking
Suns, and
and you, like,
expensive,
have to
awesome
do
video
it.
games. It was a
But, like,
phenomenal
if you're
time of 16,
adding
32,
two
and
turbos or
64-bit
putting
action,
two-
couch co-op, and
sounds
some of the
fun.
best games ever, like Chrono Trigger, Street Fighter 2, and all the N64 and PlayStation 1 classics. PC gaming was just getting started with games like Diablo, Doom, and Lemmings. Online gaming itself was virtually non-existent, and finding places to buy games or find info on popular titles was a challenge. In the 90s, you relied on
Turbos for
magazines and
everyone.
word of mouth for information. There was no GameStop, online stores, or Amazon free deliveries. The most
Hey,
reliable
yo,
place to find video
cowboy,
games
what's
was
going on?
Toys R Us. where you go to the game
Thanks
aisle,
for the
find what
super
you wanted,
sticker.
take the slip of paper underneath the front, and get your game from the kiosk if it was available. Sometimes you got lucky,
Hey,
like when
you.
you bought Super Mario RPG because the 3D box art looked cool as heck. A lot of the time though, it backfired and you went home with a piece of crap. But let's be honest, you played it anyway because you didn't have a lot of games and you wanted to get your money's worth. In the 90s, kids didn't have cell phones or any way to talk to people beyond our own streets. Gaming communities consisted of whatever smelly kids were in your neighborhood willing to converge on whoever's house had a gaming console set up in their garage with an old smelly couch everyone could cram into. The only
Yo, what
connection
up,
anything
Project?
bigger than that ragtag group of kids was the Nintendo Power
That's
magazine.
true.
There was never a feeling like the world was full of
What,
gamers
growing up
because
in the
world
90s?
seemed so small when you were a kid.
The
Until you discovered it once
video
and get
games?
your game from the kiosk if it was available in 64 and PlayStation. It was a phenomenal time of 16, 32, and 64-bit action.
I grew up with all
couch
these
co-op,
games.
and some of the best games ever, like Chrono Trigger, Street Fighter 2, and all the N64 and PlayStation 1 classics.
Yeah.
PC gaming was just
Yeah.
getting started with games like Diablo, Doom, and Lemmings.
Yeah.
Online gaming itself was virtually non-existent, and finding places to buy games or find info on popular titles was a challenge. In the 90s, you relied on magazines and word
Yo,
of mouth
cowboy.
for information. There was no
Heck
GameStop,
yeah, glad you're
online
feeling
stores,
better.
or Amazon free deliveries. The most reliable place to find video games was Toys R Us.
What time are you going
where
on
you'd go
at?
to the game aisle, find what you wanted, take the slip of
7
paper underneath the
7
front, and get your game
Central?
from the kiosk if it was available. Sometimes you got lucky, like when you bought Super Mario RPG because the 3D box art looked cool as heck. A lot of the time though, it backfired and you went home with a piece of crap. But let's be honest, you
Super
played
Mario
it anyway
RPG
because
was
you didn't
so
have a lot of
shit.
games and you wanted to get your money's worth. In the 90s, kids didn't have cell phones or any way to talk to people beyond our own streets. Gaming communities consisted of whatever smelly
We had
kids were in your
magazines.
neighborhood willing to converge on whoever's house had a gaming console set up in their garage with an old smelly couch everyone could cram into. The only connection anything
Yeah,
bigger
cowboy.
than that ragtag group of kids was the Nintendo Power magazine.
730
There was never a
PS2.
feeling like the world was full of gamers because the world seemed so small when you were a kid. Until you discovered an arcade, the gaming world was the quarter-mile radius surrounding your house. So anyone who played
That's
games
like
on your strip
10:30
was
in the
your friend.
morning. Alright, bet. Oh, fuck, I closed the wrong tab.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Fight for the good guys.
7:30. Yeah. It's 10:30 p.m.
What was gaming like during the 90s? The 90s kids was the Nintendo Power magazine. There was never a feeling like the world was full of gamers because the world seemed so small when you were a kid. Until you discovered an arcade, the gaming world was the quarter-mile radius surrounding noon. PC gaming had barely gotten off its feet.
Heck yeah. I'll be on at 8 a.m. PST.
Only a handful of people actually knew the existence of Oregon Trail. Doom didn't come out till 93, and the late 90s would just barely see the start of crude online forums and rudimentary chat rooms like ICQ. And only if you were lucky
Yo,
enough to hold the phone line
ICQ,
hostage
remember that
while you
shit?
dialed up to the cardboard speed internet your family had. No, the 90s was more or less defined as the rise of the 16 and 32-bit console era, as well as the proliferation of the local arcade. But still, it was far before anyone took games too seriously. It
I used to
wasn't
go to
until
the
late
arcade when I
90s
was
the boom of
younger.
The RTS, Battle.net,
That was fun.
GameSpy, and more sophisticated console games came into the scene that people actually started talking about gaming culture. Playing video games was something you did, not necessarily something that defined you. Today, people build their entire lives around it. We were just as happy to go outside and play wiffle ball on the streets or have epic water gun wars. We rode redline bikes with chromies. We had real birthday parties outside in the backyard where we chomped on Big League Chew and slid down the slip and slide. You better hope your dad checked for rocks before he laid that thing down, because if he didn't, someone's asshole was gonna get ripped a new one. The problem with gaming in the 90s was that no one had any money and games were so expensive. If you were a kid back in the 90s, you were at the mercy of your parents. But chances are your parents probably didn't have any money either, especially for games. Games and consoles were so expensive, the only hope you had to get one was to wait for Christmas. Put it this way, it was more rare to see a console in someone's house than to see a pool in their backyard. Just think about this for a second. Games and systems cost the same now as they did back then. You think $60 is a lot for a game today? Try spending $80 for a copy of Pilot Wings on the N64 when the minimum wage was $3 an hour.
give me like-
That same game today
give
would
me like
cost
15 minutes or
$150. The Sega
I'm
Saturn
gonna
was
eat something real quick,
$400 in
and then I'll
95, which
chill.
is over $750
Let me write that
adjusted
down
today.
now. Hold on.
If you really wanted to buy a game, you were outside in the heat of the summer, setting up a lemonade stand, sweating your ass off, begging for someone to come by and give you a quarter for that watered-down Kool-Aid you were selling. Families barely had enough money in the 90s to get by, let alone shower Jimmy with a bunch of new video games that were already incredibly expensive. But there were two things that we could do if we wanted to play games at any time: game rentals and going to the arcade.
Game rentals. Arcade was
The
cool, but it
evolution
were
of video
different
game
games.
difficulty as time went on prompted a huge rental market. In the early 90s, most if not all games were on cartridges, and storage space was limited. The SNES
CDs.
had a capacity of 6 megabytes, and memory cards wouldn't be invented until the PlayStation in '94, so there was only so much game that could be put on that cartridge. This led to a lot of cryptic, maze-like games like Simon's Quest, where they could ensure long, frustrating playtimes, and more importantly, increased the difficulty. Part of it was due to terrible controls, but a lot of it was sheer game difficulty. Devs couldn't let you blaze through an entire game in a single day. So games were designed to be ass-kickers with unfair gimmicks, respawning enemies if you hit the screen's edge, and jumps requiring ridiculous precision. A lot of games were based off a lives and continue system, which made sure that the small storage space could be used efficiently. If you ever played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I'm
on
in
the
Discord.
NES, you know exactly what I mean. With horrendous difficulty spikes, marathon marches before checkpoints, and terrible controls, most games could not be beaten easily. Thankfully, in the 90s, external memory cards allowed for permanent
I'm
save
watching
states,
right
but that,
now
of
on my
course, inflated
screen.
the already tremendous cost of buying a
Basil.
video game console and all the accessories
It's
you would
on
want.
his way.
Because publishers were pretty much in direct competition with the rental market, games also had to be hard enough so kids couldn't finish them during
is
rental
up, my
periods.
dude?
Every
Hey, what
town
up?
had a movie store where you could pick up a game for a day or two for
I'm no longer sick. So,
Blockbuster Video opening in your
Yay!
it was like a 4-day flu. It was not fun.
I don't like get like super sick very often. I like
Well, I got sick, then tried to push through it at work, and I have a very physical job. And so I was like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna happen. So I went home and then just didn't feel good for the next 4 days. So that was fun, but I'm actually planning on starting a new stream series in 2 weeks.
what game?
Yeah, finish up streams on No Man's Sky. I'm gonna do a game called Out of Ore.
Out of Ore?
It's like a mining game, but you can actually like fully dig into the terrain and stuff.
It's a mining sim.
It is, yeah. But you can build like full wash plants, everything. Yeah. I don't have nitro, so this isn't gonna look pretty, but I'll give you a sneak peek.
So these shorts are 2-in-1, which I absolutely love when
They're
running.
so nice.
So comfortable.
You have been sent out in an effort to the company equipment, and remember, diamond.
It's a new game. No, it's an old game. When did it come out? A year ago?
wanted to know, how deep is the Out of All map? We know the map is completely and utterly diggable, so it could be massive, and I need some money. So I decided to take a small amount of loans out, just so they've got a little bit of money that we can spend on what we might need. I felt $1,308,700,000 might just be enough for us to do what we needed to do. I also wanted to buy one of these bad boys, because we're going to need a rock truck, it's going to make things easier. I decided to limit myself to 100 nukes. I think 100 nukes will
I'm streaming on Discord if you want to take a little look-see. This is the start of a save, so it's just like really bare bones, but
Yeah, on Discord,
you
where?
dump your if you go into the channel, I'm streaming through the channel. The actual Discord channel. No, not on YouTube, on Discord. So if you go to actual Discord, like the application of Discord, then click on the channel that we're in right now.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. So there's a very right now. So basically, I have did it break your computer?
No, I'm watching.
So basically, like this is coal right here, and you can tell by the way the dirt's tinted. So you scoop that up with a bucket or an excavator, and then this is a really simple wash plant. So you have a hopper, then it goes into a trommel. So the trommel puts the pay dirt down to the bottom, and pay dirt and normal dirt. Everything else goes up to the top. So this has coal in it that's been processed out of dirt. Because when you scoop, you're going to get dirt and coal, and then this has all the dirt in it. Because the dirt and pay dirt drops to the bottom. And then that's the basis of the game, and then you keep expanding to be bigger operation, more machinery, stuff like that. And then you can build bigger and bigger
That's
wash
cool.
plants.
Can you dig?
Yeah.
How deep can you dig?
I think it's like 80 meters to bedrock or something like that.
Like, can you set up a mine?
Yeah, full underground mining. So this is the shop. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. This is the entire shop. This is everything you can buy. So if we go to like vehicles, we can go into so these are all the rock trucks.
That's cool.
This one's designed for underground because it's super short and can turn really tight.
Yeah.
Then you have all these different excavators, loaders. This is the one for underground.
Mm-hmm.
You can pave roads too, which is really cool. You have attachments for excavators and stuff. You can have a drone.
32
and then
grand.
these guys for the drone. Yeah. Well, I have 800 grand right now. But these are the things that you set up on a platform and just start driving forward, and it eats through the dirt and it makes a tunnel. Then you got trucks, a Petworth. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Peterbilt or a Kenworth, but you know, figure it out. And then pickups. Then you got fuel truck as well. Then all sorts of building stuff to like build a wash plant with and stuff underground. You have to replace parts on your machines when they get old and worn out. There's explosives for mining. Then you can also just buy materials through here. Then you can also buy resources. So it's kind of cool. It's more than like just mining. Like you can actually build stuff. But then there's full lighting too.
That's pretty cool.
Then you have warning lights as well. And then this is fully
How are you doing
articulated,
it? You don't have an excavator, you just have your loader?
I just have a loader right now. Because this loader was, so I started with $1 million, and then I bought all the wash plant parts, and then this loader was $126,000. So, and I could get a rock truck, whatever. So basically, up in the top right in there, you have your company status. And so if you look at that versus like this, I need to be at level 10 to be able to purchase this. So you got to progress through to get better machinery. And that's across multiple saves because it's your company. But I think it's like 20-30 bucks right now, and it has co-op. So it's a fun kind of chill game.
How much time do you have into it?
Let's look. I'm scared to find out this number, but let's open Steam and look. $14.8 so far. So really not that much.
That's how you accumulated your 100 grand, or did you start with 100 grand?
You start with $1 million.
Well, million. So.
Or you can do hard mode, which is 100,000. Which it is very hard. But like stuff like this, where this terrain's all bad and stuff, you can get like rollers, which will even the terrain out, which will make it easier for your machines to go over. Because if your machine bounces too much, then it loses stuff out your bucket.
Geez, yeah, just dig it up, why don't you?
Yeah, this is coal. This is money right here. You can overload too, which is kind of cool. But like if you tilt too much, it'll cause dirt to spill out your bucket. They also have dozers.
Have you tried doing the two wheelie? You know, like the loader wheelies? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
When you like Google loader wheelies, is they like balance on their front tires because they're like.
No, I haven't done that.
They're pretty much like only on their front tires. Their rear end is like up in the air, and like they raise and lower their load depending on like what kind of balance they need.
I haven't done that yet. I don't even know if this game will let me do that. But they also have big old dozers. Which they're a little pricey. But you know, there's that. This is a 6-way dozer. So basically it can articulate up, down, and it can pivot one side of the blade up or down. Nice. You can pivot one side of the blade up or down, and then it can turn right and left. So it's got 6 ways of motion on it, which is really cool. And it's all controlled by the mouse.
It's a dozer and a grader.
It could be used as a grader, yeah. I mean, it would be better to use an actual grader, but you know.
I didn't see any.
There is a grader. Right here. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Like this green?
Going to the right.
This green? Watch this.
What the
You
heck?
can change the color. You got paint cans and you can change the color. You can also change all of this around, like where all your stuff is, where all your lighting
Wow.
is. So like I could put this up here if I wanted. Up
That's
here.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And then this is where you replace all the stuff. So it'll tell you what its percentage is at. So this is still at 90%, so it's
Oh,
still
there's
good
wear and
stuff.
tear.
There is. You can even change your accent colors.
Hey, that's
This is
cool.
really cool.
I like that.
The green actually does look cool. But yeah, they have a big color palette. This game was made by a modding company that originally made mods for Farming Simulator. It's kind of crazy. They progressed this far.
So what? All that stuff goes through that machine, goes up the thing, and then you just
Yep,
collect
then
it
it
at the
goes to the
storage
tunnel,
units?
processed. Yep, goes up into the storage units. So all of the coal is going in here. And then all of the dirt is going up into this one. So it separates it. And then if I were to put pay
And then
dirt
what do you
through
do with
here,
it?
and so if pay dirt came through here, it'd go up here, and then it would go through this wash plant right here, and then it would produce gold ore in here, which then you can refine gold ore into gold bars. There's a whole tutorial.
No, but what do you do with the stuff you dig out? You sell it?
Yep. So like finding ore. Yeah, but like you can process your own gravel and asphalt and everything. It's really cool. You can build a full like roadworks company if you really want to. Like this would be a very multiplayer kind of game. Like one person like runs the construction company while the other person like mines and stuff like that. Could very easily make it very community focused.
Stuck?
Nope, just gotta wiggle out. Never underestimate my skills. You've seen me play SnowRunner. I can get out of places. So these are concrete slabs that I put here just to make sure I'm level, so that I don't tip my bucket too far, anything like that, and spill too much material out. Because, I mean, a little of it's spilling out the back, but that would be a lot more if I was uneven against the ground. But, like, we're going really slow over this just because of how uneven the terrain is. If it was flatter, it would be going a lot faster. You can just straight rip up the ground.
Can you create a pile?
You can. I'll go dig up some normal dirt and shit. Because I ain't wasting coal doing that. This is money right here.
The animation could use some work.
The what?
The animation of it leaving your bucket.
Yeah, it's still technically a game in early access. I mean, it's had its full release date, but they're still constantly improving it. Just like say like that, took a little cutout. And there's like a big crater over here. And so you just
Yeah, make a little pile.
make little piles of dirt. That's how you terraform too. So you can get like flatter surfaces for building and stuff. But yeah. This is definitely a long form content stream. Kind of like SnowRunner. It's a grind in the beginning. And it's kind of one of those games that you can't really automate. You just kind of got to stick with it.
Is this your, this can't be your only plant? Where did this thing come from?
This
Oh,
is the only plant on this save.
oh, you just started?
I started a new one, yeah. This one's just for fun.
Did you choose this location because of...
Because of the ore deposit, yeah. You can see all those dark spots running down there. So there's a bunch of coal that runs down that hillside, which we call a bench because it's like pops up and comes back down. It's called a bench. And so it's running down that whole bench and then down this trench right behind us. And then it keeps going down that side. And then some goes up over there. And then some keeps coming down through here. So there's a lot of coal in this area.
Sounding like a true prospector.
Well, valleys and benches are where you're gonna find the most material to move.
I don't know. I watch the gold mining shows. They'll tell me to fucking find the old riverbeds.
Find the what?
The old riverbeds.
That's a good one too, yeah. If you're looking for gold, that's where you want to look. These riverbeds. Because it pulls it from the mountains down. The water did. So essentially when you pull out of old riverbeds, you're basically just letting nature do all the work. You're just pulling out all the gold that it brought down. Now there's a trick you can do here with this, so you won't spill too much out the back, which I'm gonna do because it's worth it. So you go here, then you can do this with whatever piece you want. Concrete is the one with the ramps, so that's the one that I'm probably gonna end up using. And then you put one of these, grab these, and then you grab 4 of these. And you put this up here. Swap to this one.
Oh, it like leans in. Oh.
Yeah, you make essentially a little... It's not the right one. I grabbed the wrong ramps. But yeah, you can just, like, free place stuff on grid or not on grid. I think these are the right ones. Yeah, they are. You can just do like that, and then it makes a little backing. Again, that's the wrong one. Just can't find the right one, apparently. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Then over here, and then you can put these walls right here.
So it really contains it.
Yep, it creates a little, like, it's basically extending the hopper, is what it is. So that way stuff won't spill out the back. At least it'll minimize it. You could even get even fancier and go like this. I'm the first person for this. Two along the sides there. And it creates a bigger hopper, essentially. Oh yeah. That's what you'll have to look forward to.
Ooh,
2
cool
weeks.
game, bro.
Highly recommend if you're interested in just ripping up dirt for no reason. Isn't it like 1 a.m. over there?
250.
250.
215. 1-5.
Oh. You know, I was gonna say something, but I was up until like midnight last night. So, or no, I was up until like 5. I just thought it was midnight because I was lying to myself. That's right.
Midnight, they say. Yeah, I'd probably gonna play for another. I'll probably gonna play for like 45 minutes and then pass out at 3. 3 sounds like a good odd number.
Well, that's when all the ghosts come out, so that's when you gotta go to bed. Or they'll come get you.
Yeah, if I stay awake any longer, I'm gonna sleep my day off away now.
Yeah, I woke up at like noon today. I definitely slept my day away. But, you know, I needed the sleep, so I'm not super upset. Plus, it was a weekend.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of working on.
There he is. Hello.
So did you spot the 3 differences yet, or what?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, one of them's the computer screen. It's slightly off.
I don't understand why they're two different images right now. They should be the same. What the fuck?
Oh, the gaming chair. There's only one hole. Is it something to do with the cat, maybe? No. Oh, the plant. So the gaming chair and the plant. And then it's gotta be something with the cat. What else is there in frame?
Yeah, it took me a little while to see it.
Is it the fact that the gamer's not slouching? Because that's not normal. What is it? What?
Oh, you know. Oh. The screen's different because it's playing SnowRunner in the background.
Is that the third difference?
No, no, there's a third.
The chair. The plant. Oh goodness.
Real
Burger
easy.
King bag, that's the difference.
Huh?
Burger King bag, that's the
Burger
difference.
King bag. It's actually stupid obvious. When I fucking saw it, I'm like, I'm stupid.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Your head
Right?
was covering it. Your head was covering it. That's why I couldn't see it.
Ah, yes, sometimes, maybe. No?
Yeah, I see it now. But your head was like right there when I was trying to look. Night, Mom. Yeah. Yo, you know any cool tricks with those? I've heard that people can do like tricks with those and stuff. Create rings and stuff.
Like, what? What?
Like create rings and stuff.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's easier with a vape.
I'm gonna be a cop, so I'm just mentally preparing myself to get addicted to nicotine.
Coffee and
Because it's
donuts,
gonna
bro.
happen.
Get ready for it.
It's gonna happen. Caffeine, nicotine, and donuts. The three poisons of a cop.
I love caffeine donuts. I don't really care for nicotine. But like
Fair enough. Yeah, all of the ores in this game, there's aluminum, coal, copper, diamond, gold, iron, lithium, ruby, silicon, and silver. And there's also
silicon.
asphalt, and then there's blasted rock, crushed rock, gravel, and solid rock. There's dirt and pay dirt. There's water and oil, and then there's wood. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck could chuck as much wood as woodchuck could chuck wood.
The actual correct answer is just wood. Believe it or not. Where's gun control to yell at you for live editing? He did that with me.
Yeah, well, I'm prepared. What do you want from me?
Because I had to take a break and I didn't have a I'll be right back screen set
So you're
up.
like
So
typing
I
it on
just
the
made one
screen.
really quick. Yeah.
I've been there, man. Fuck. Spelling mistakes and all.
I set up
Resizing,
the nice
dragging across the screen.
countdown timer and everything, and like didn't make a "we'll be right back" slide. Just definitely not using a copyrighted image. It's my background.
Copyright? What's that?
Exactly. I don't know what copyright is. How can you claim someone did it if they don't know what it is?
Yeah, the terrain in this map, every time you like notice there's rocks and shit that damage you. You'll see the road looks clear, but all of a
Rocks?
sudden, like, bam.
No way, rocks confirmed in SnowRunner?
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's rocks in this game.
Damn, I had no idea. It's eye-opening.
I'm looking forward to Roadcraft.
I am too. I pre-ordered it. Wasn't I the one that told you about like the deal?
Yeah,
Since
yeah.
you already own SnowRunner? Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh, I'm all for people saving money. No.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Just like, oh, I can save money. Yes, please. Who doesn't like saving money? Crazy people, probably.
You know who doesn't want to save money? Someone that just won the lottery. They want to
I would
spend
want to
money.
save it.
Yeah.
Although I do live in America. So I can't get taxed on what I don't have. Actually, wait, yes I can. That is entirely how the tax system works.
I don't think I've ever been to Utah.
Huh?
This map I'm playing on.
What about it?
I've never been here.
Oh no? It's about time you did. I don't know what I'm saying.
So what you gonna do about No Man's Sky? You gonna give up on it or what?
No, it'll be a less common thing, but I'm gonna play it for the whole week. And then come back to it maybe a little later.
Yeah, that is a
Because it's kind of
huge
hitting.
game. That is a
Yeah,
never-ending game.
it's also one of those ones that it's kind of hitting the grind part. And so I'm gonna do that probably off stream. Get it to the fun parts. But I mean, we'll see what happens. It'll definitely come back. But gun control said he might get it, so that would be a reason to bring it back for a little bit. You know what I hope they add to this game? I hope they add placeable rotating orange lights, like warning lights, because they only have them on the vehicles. They don't have them for buildings.
What?
I think it would make rotating orange lights, like warning lights.
For buildings?
Yeah. So like for areas that like you don't want people to be, have warning lights.
Yeah. How did you cross the water again?
What?
Chief, how'd you cross the water here?
I ain't talking to someone on stream. I thought you were talking to me, and I'm like, there ain't no water. What do you?
What did you do? Did you just send it? There's a shallow spot. Can't I just like drive into the water, shut my engine off, and float downstream?
Might work. I mean, up to you to try. I ain't gonna stop you. You know, as your financial advisor for your company, I would highly discourage it. But, you know. Also, as your legal advisor, don't say anything when the Department of Transportation shows up to pull it out. Just say it. Just say it. It showed up there.
I don't know what happened. I was driving along, and all of a sudden, all this water showed up.
Yeah, the water just appeared. I don't know, man.
Came from that way.
Came from that away, over yonder.
Hey, I think I found the shallow. Oh no, never mind. It's deep.
Just say the water appeared in front of you, and that should do the trick.
Phew, I made it. Oh, yo, there was a bridge this whole time?
There's a bridge?
Here I am crossing the ocean. There's a bridge.
Well, you just like to do things the non-typical way, and that's okay. You know, we still support you in your endeavors. I want this thing to do what I want it to do, you know?
Not a agile truck. I mean, very versatile, very powerful.
As we see here, the
But like
wild...
tight turning like that ain't its forte.
As we observe here, the wild Flare attempting to navigate his rather large vehicle through uneven terrain. Can he do it? The suspense is something else.
Jeez, this is a muddy stretch, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah? It's just preparing you for what's to come. It's gonna get worse.
Think so?
I have no idea. I'm not even really paying attention. I'm doing my thing over here, so. I'm trying to make my thing do the thing. You're trying to make your thing do the thing, so, you know.
What thing are we doing?
I don't remember. I'm putting a rain cover over the hopper right now. So that all my dirt doesn't turn to mud.
Yo, look at this. How do you expect to climb this?
Magic. You're supposed to just do. You know, like the old Nike campaign with Shia LaBeouf.
Just do.
Just do.
No, I don't remember a Nike campaign with Shia LaBeouf.
You don't? What? Dude, it's only like the most influential part of my childhood.
You have to disconnect, climb without it, and then winch it up.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, this looks like a very naturally occurring sluice box.
It's got barriers, it's got a roof. That's a luxurious unit you're building there.
All for the hopper, you know? It's just special like that. They do have a sandbox mode where you have like $100 million and build whatever the hell you want. And buy all the machinery and stuff. You know, I even added a maintenance walkway next to this because I'm that sophisticated. Just that good. I wish they had glass roofs, but you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
I'm trying.
Well, try harder.
I do not come well equipped for this type of environment.
That sounds like a you problem, honestly. You know, personally, I would have just done it right the first time, but, you know, that's just me. Today's episode of how to BS your way through a job interview.
You just have AI give you all the answers, bro.
That's how I got hired at your company. I mean, what? Nothing. Sorry. I had something in my throat.
You got liar syndrome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You might not.
Yeah, you're the crazy one. I didn't do it. I've been nothing but loyal to this company, and this... fuel, I know. Oh, Lord. I'm spending a lot of money. Spending thousands of dollars on this.
But
You know, your SnowRunner company is probably valued at a couple million by now.
oh, I have more than that in trucks. And I have more than that in cash.
What about in buildings and land?
I don't know who owns all this shit. I guess I do.
Well, you own the garages. And the garages are, what, 5-slot garages?
Probably pretty penny.
That's, yeah, it's gotta be a good chunk of change right there.
No more American pennies.
Oh, this game must be based in the north, because, like, there's snow happening. Based in your backyard, buddy. I'm mining in your backyard.
There's snowflakes.
There's snow falling, yeah, in the game. This is literally your backyard. Look out your window. I say to the one who probably lives in an apartment complex. Based purely off the fact that he said he's in a multi-million population city.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, it's a detached house.
Oh. Well, look at you.
I mean, I don't own it. It's not my house.
House. Yes, I'm making fun of your Canadian.
House. We call it. I say house.
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 House. Oh, I'm gonna go on down to the Timmy's there and get a glazer. You want one, bud?
Never say glazer. I would never want a glazed donut. What the fuck? Of all the selection, you're gonna get a glazed donut? Who the fuck are you?
I'm Batman. That's who I am. I'm Batman.
Unless you go to Krispy Kreme and then you gotta get the original glaze. Get the fuck out of here. That's the best. Ooh, glazer. On second thought, yeah, Krispy Kreme is the ultimate glaze. Yeah, you know how hard it was to get up this? I don't think I'll make it.
Just try really hard. It's like I tell my dog when he stares at the door handle for a long time. If you stare at it for long enough, it'll eventually move.
How have you not taken any damage? I've already had to repair myself 40 points. Oh, you're double stack. Yes.
Okay, so you'd never get a glazer. What about a chocolate?
No, Krispy Kreme glazer for sure. 110%. Those are the best.
Oh, I see. So it's just something about my. I'm gonna stop that sentence before it gets way out of hand. I'm building a concrete paradise over here.
Cut back up. Wait, no, you're missing the.
Oh, did some of you mess up? Oh. Somebody's in trouble. Ooh. That moment when you antagonize, when the teacher like walks in, she's all upset, and then you realize that you're the one in trouble.
Yeah. Somebody in trouble. Oh, fuck, that's me.
Oh shit. Oh, my parents are gonna kill me. I just swore at the door open. They definitely heard me. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. They act like I don't swear around my coworkers all the time. Because I work for them. I work for my parents. And they act like I don't swear around my coworkers all the time. Kind of funny. It's like blissful ignorance. So I need a lot of paint. I'm gonna get like 25 cans of paint. You can paint the concrete too, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, no, you can't. Dude, if you could paint the concrete, top tier game. You can paint everything else, just not the concrete. Like, I'm painting all my guardrails yellow right now for danger. Have you ever seen that video of the squirrel that faked its death?
See that giant red dog?
Clifford? Yeah,
Clifford?
Clifford the big red dog. Can I pet that dog?
Projects like you expect me to see that small screen? You can't see that?
Yes. He does expect you to see that small screen.
Come on, Project. Spot the 3 differences.
Well, the screens are the same now, so there is 3 again. I think I'm gonna clock out for the night.
Yeah, buddy. Catch it, man.
Yup. I'll ping probably about like 30 minutes before I go live, so. But yeah. Peace out.
Peace. Ugh. Alright, Chief. About that time, man. I gotta catch some sleep. Hope to catch you next time. Play with you longer. But till then, have a good one. GG's. See the rest of y'all later.